Welcome back to the School of Impact podcast. Today, I have two guests on the show today, and this is going to be a freaking doozy. If you guys don't have seatbelts on, I highly recommend you find something to buckle up with because this is going to be a whirlwind of value, of maybe potentially a little bit of humor. We're going to find out, and hopefully a lot of gold nuggets that you could take away to help you on your journey, whether you're a business owner or you're somebody that's just trying to progress in life. We're going to have some hopeful good stuff. I don't want to build this up too much. And the guests on the show today are Wayne Sutherland and Nicole Dumont. And if I butcher anything that I'm about to say right now, you can recorrect me. People always get my stuff wrong too. They are the most sought after women's coaches. And they're going to expand upon what that means here in just a moment. But I want to say, first of all, thank you so much for both of you guys coming on the show today. Super appreciative, super grateful for you guys being on. I'm going to go ahead and hand the mic. I only got one mic, so whoever wants to take it, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off. If you would just introduce a little bit about yourselves and what you do, who you're helping, all that good jazz.
Well, Nicole, you might as well go ahead because you tend to talk quite a bit.
Well. I do have a lot to say. I don't know if we have enough time for everything, but thank you so much, Jason, for having us. I'm not prepared for today. I just like to come on and just let whatever come out. You know what I mean? Like you just said, it was going to be fun. So, my name is Nicole Dumont. I'm the co-founder of Elite Fitness Team along with Wayne Sutherland. We have been running our business for, I'd have to bring up the calculator, about 13 and a half years. We started in 2010 as a online, or actually not online, we're in-person personal training studio for 8 years. And we hired different coaches. We did the fitness show thing. And because we noticed a lot of our clients were getting results through the nutrition and the accountability piece, we decided to make a tough decision to go online 100%, to give ourselves choice, a different life, different future. And so we went online 100% in 2018. Thank the sweet Lord above. It was before 2020. We were fortunate enough to find a really great business coach that taught us how to build an online business. And we have been learning and adjusting since then. And now it's 2023 and we're very fortunate to be here.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
We've been around for a while. And what can I say? Since 2018, we've learned a lot about, I think before 2018, we were just these regular trainers. We wanted to train people, help, a lot of women. A lot of the clients that we have are 90% women who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s and on. And, we wanted to create a different avenue to help. The reason why I wanted to switch over to online mostly was I wanted to help more women beyond the four walls that we were in. And the only way for us to do that was to try a different approach. And obviously we only had so many hours in a day to train our girls. So we had to expand into the online space. And everyone thinks the online space is much easier. And at the beginning, it was holy shit. We've never experienced so much challenges and stuff like that. And I thank God for those challenges because it helped us to see what we're really, really capable of and see if this is the route we want to take. And it was. And, just like Nicole said, we've been around with the online for since 2018 till now. And we've helped hundreds and hundreds of, literally hundreds. If you go to our Instagram page, you'll see thousands of befores and afters and tons of stuff. And we actually enjoy doing it. And I can't wait to talk more about it with you, bud.
Yeah, and you definitely have to enjoy doing it as as long as you guys have been doing it, right? And what I love, and I remember us talking about this years ago, we all connected, for those of you listening, in a mastermind, back around 2019, I think. Yeah. And that's when I transitioned. And so I remember all these commonalities we were talking, and I remember you and I, Wayne, when we were talking, but we ran a gym. I ran a gym for 8 years. I went online, you guys were a year before me. And yeah, there's just when you were like, sweet, thank God, sweet Jesus, like running a gym is a lot. Like it is a lot. But like that right around that 2020 mark, there was a lot of obviously like grief, right, with people not being able to leave and stuff. But yeah, having an online business right at that time was a blessing in disguise. So I was right there with y'all. I'm curious to know. I know my own challenges. One of the things that like, and I don't think this is just business specific. I think this, like, if somebody's growing a business, if somebody's on a weight loss journey, if somebody is on a personal development journey, there's always ebbs and flows, right? There's times where things are going good, revenue's going up, weight loss is going down, things are going in the right direction. But then there's like the inevitable ebb, like, right, that has to happen, the yin to the yang. And you mentioned challenges. And I'm curious to know, like, what were some of those challenges for y'all earlier on, and how did you overcome them?
I'm assuming I'll go first, Wayne.
That's a good assumption right there.
Hand the mic over to you.
You're making me go way back. And if you see me looking off to the side, I'm just writing some things down so I don't forget a few things. You are correct. Challenges are here every day, every week, every month, every year, and they're always so different. The first challenge when we first started our business 13 and a half years ago, I just felt sick to my stomach every Sunday because it's like, paying mortgage, paying bills, paying everything, it all relied on us, right? Like, I just remember like I'm getting nervous now thinking about it, because it's like, every Sunday I'm like, tomorrow is Monday. It's the first day people go back to work and it's all on us. Like, we got to grind, So that was the first challenge. So what I did to overcome that was I created a list of like over 100 positive daily affirmations. So I went to the mindset piece, and every morning I would read all of them. And every single day I would just read all of them over and over again. And it just trained my brain to be positive and empowered and confident. And I didn't take a business course or anything. Wayne and I never took business when we went to college or university. We followed the yellow brick road, and we just did whatever was next to do, right? So you kind of just have to keep going. You have to have faith, the mustard seed, you have to hold on to that mustard seed of hope. So that was the first challenge of many. Would you like to share?
Well, I was going to add to that. Do you remember when we made the transition, when we made the transition to close the gym and start online completely, we only had like I think it was 6 days between the time we announced that we were closing the gym out for good, and then, selling everything, or not selling, just we literally gave like thousands of equipment and money to people, and like to the land. We were just like, we are fucking done.
Yeah.
We were just done. We called it. The opportunity came for us to like get out of our lease, and our lease was like $3,000-4,000 a month at a time. And I was just like, there was no way we could do this anymore. So we gave money, and we had like $35,000 worth of refunds to give to people the next week, to people who bought into our program for another year, and then they found out we're not going to have the gym anymore. So every single day we had to give these refunds back. And like I said, like $30,000 to $35,000 worth of training. That's a lot of money back then. And we still did it. And every time Nicole and we send out like $1,000 here, $2,000 here, we look at each other, and I think Nicole remembered she wanted us to do a dance for every time we send a refund. So we did like a dance.
Yeah, that's what we did. We turned on some music and we danced.
We danced.
And at the top of the list, I titled it Sacrifices.
Yeah.
So I didn't look at it as something that we were losing. I looked at it as these were the sacrifices we had to make to get to the next level of our life. And all the while we were doing this, people were like, are you sure? Do you think this is a good idea? This is a bad idea. All those people in your head, because they wanted us to keep personal training them, but we wanted something different.
Yeah.
So we were like, yeah, we're sure. We wouldn't go through all this trouble if we weren't sure. So yeah, like Wayne said, our landlord said, oh no, your lease isn't done until, I can't remember, we had 5 more years or whatever. And I said, nah, you have till the end of this year. You're getting another payment and that's it, bro.
Yeah.
And so he was like, okay, this chick is serious. So he went out to find a replacement to start leasing that spot. And he's like, okay, I found someone, but you got 6 days. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah. We
6
left
freaking
everything.
days.
Yeah, we left everything, dumbbells, machines, music,
The
whole
desk.
9 yards.
You were just like, peace.
And it was like unreal. It was like, I honestly think that, I believe in God. So I believe that, all these things were lined up just right. And then, it happened and we couldn't believe it. And then all of a sudden we hired our first business coach, and, Nicole had her first call with a client, with a potential lead. And then she closed like a ton of money on the first call. And I was just like, so this is what we did.
It was like, oh
yeah, like it just like, I was like all in. I was like,
there's light.
I was just like, all I needed was one person to buy into our, into our mythology. And like, it was just like, that was it.
I'm like, okay, we have a business. Thank God.
We have a business, and that was it. And we just capitalized on that, invested in the business, and then here we are, so it's good.
Yeah. I had such a similar experience of leaving. Maybe this is common. But yeah, like I got to the end and it was like right when COVID happened. So I had all these deals lined up. So I was selling my gym. I had all these deals. I had somebody she was coming out from New York, her and her husband. I had somebody else like in Philadelphia. I had some people in Florida. People were like looking at buying it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be rich. Yeah, I'm about to sell this thing. And then like, that was the end of 2019. I'd already started online. I literally just started. And then COVID came. And everybody was like, we're out. We have no idea how long this is going to be. The news says it could be a couple months or a while. We have no idea. And so I was like, all right. And I was like, well, I can either refund everybody, and because we were moving from like South Florida to West Florida, which is like 4.5 hours apart. And so I was just like my head trainer at the gym. I was like, hey, dude, you want a gym? He was like, yeah. And I was like, we can work out a payment structure, but like, here's the keys. I'm out. He was just like, thank you.
Wow.
And that was it, And so, yeah, I was just like,
yeah.
Well, and you said the word common, and I think we have common stories because it's only common when you have courage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These stories are not common, actually, if in my opinion, because I think it takes a certain kind of person, and I think it takes a certain kind of courage to be able to do what we've all done, and that's why now we can work from home and we have a business and stuff like that, because that's the one thing. It's like, oh, you guys are so lucky. I'm like, yeah, I think luck always has a part. But I think above and beyond luck, there's hard work and courage. So I think that's what's common.
Yeah, no, that's an amazing answer. And I love like your whole aspect on like, you're really paying attention to your thinking, into your emotional state, into like how your nervous system is like, it's like I that's something that most people just don't. I think they want to do. I think we have this intuitive pull to like focus more on that stuff, but people live like in stress and they're trying so hard, whether it's growing their business or just trying to better themselves, and they're trying so freaking hard, but they're so stressed out. So I love the fact that you were even like, let's put on it, let's dance. When like for most business owners, like that would crush them. That would absolutely crush them. And you guys are dancing. So I love that you're reprogramming your nervous system.
I'm going to tell you another story, Jason. Here's another story. You got me all excited. I'm not going to. I remember there was like, this is like, I think we were already like 9 or 10 months into our online business, and everything was working. We were making money, blah, blah, blah. And then we got this brown envelope from our government. We live in Canada, by the way, Ontario, Canada. And we got this brown envelope, and the government of Canada, or the Ontario government, was asking us for $70,000 in like something. I was just like, and like I got the letter and I was like, what? I showed Nicole the letter, and she was just.
This was when we had the personal training studio. We only had a couple of years into the business.
Yeah, we only had a couple of years in the business. Oh yeah, that's right. And you know, I look at stress. I look at all these events. Like, I don't know. Like when I found out that we had this $70,000 to pay the government, and they wanted it like in a week.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Like they wanted the $70,000 in a week. Now, thankfully, we weren't the type of people that spent money on Lambos and vacations and crazy stuff like that. Like we had the money, but we were just like, what the hell? And I told Nicole, I said to her, I think there's a reason why this is happening to us. And it's probably, this is happening to us because I think life was testing us to be like, do you really want to go to that next level?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go to that next level, this is the price to pay. And at that point, I was just like, I had to lean into that. I told Nicole, I said, I think we have the money, so let's just pay into it. And then let's just see what happens after that. And if we didn't pay into that, we would have quit and not see what we're actually capable of now. Like I look back at that years ago and I can't believe like that was the price we had to pay to get where we are right this minute, right here today.
Yeah. And that goes back to courage. Like Nicole just said, yeah, if you look at the levels of consciousness, right? Like below courage is like neutral or acceptance or something like that. And then below that gets into like fear and all of these things. And so it's like, yeah, it's like that courage. And I think like most of us in life, like just in life period, are trying to like not have problems when the problem is the exact thing that we need, quote unquote, to get to the next level. So it's like, if you can't handle, it's like, I remember the first time online when somebody, like I had a hate comment and I remember it like tore me up. Like the hate comment was so brutal. And like now I get hate, I get a lot of hate, you know, but like I just accept it. I'm just like, I have compassion. I'm like, man, there's like still people in the world that like think like this.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you run ads, you know, and you're just like, whoa. Yeah, I haven't seen these humans, and I'm like, who are these people, right? But I feel like all problems are like they, like you're saying, they lead to that. They allow you to have that container to take on bigger problems, you know.
Absolutely.
So cool.
Yeah, I think too. I just want to mention, like, you know, Wayne and I are lucky to have each other because some things bug him, and then I come in to help, and then there's things that bug me, and he comes in to help. So I think like your environment, people in your corner make a huge difference, helping you to not quit when things get tough. And I think that's why it is important to have either a business coach or, you know, weight loss coach or just a really good partner in your life. That's one reason why we've been able to get through these challenges is because our environment is set up for success. Right. Yeah. Because if he was a total douchebag, then obviously I wouldn't be able to run the business. And if I was a douchebag, he wouldn't be able to run the business.
Right.
So, you know, there's a guy, Valuetainment, Patrick.
Yeah. Patrick Bet David.
Oh yeah. Bet David. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember years ago listening to him and he said, you know, the last person in your ear matters the most. Because if somebody's always telling you you're a loser, you're a failure, how are you going to do this? Like every single day, you're going to start to believe that. So 100%. We're lucky enough to have each other to get through these challenges as well. So I just want to point that out.
Yeah, and I think that is a very important concept, and I think anybody listening like can probably like shake their head and agree. You know, like, and especially like you guys have coached so many people, and you know, like if somebody's trying to like lose weight or better, they're just trying to just improve themselves, like, and they have that. We all know, like we've had those clients where like they're like, man, my husband or my wife or whatever, like they're just not supportive of anything that I do. You know, or it's like, you know, like when you have clients that are like, I'm sneaking this program in, like, I'm not telling, you're just like, oh man, it's not going to work. Like, unless you know, you're not going to sustain this.
Yeah.
Right. So that is an important point. I had something I was going to ask you and I forgot. I'm trying to see if I could jog my memory.
Well, I was going to mention while you're thinking there, we're talking about having courage to take these, chances in life. And a lot of people are too stressed. They have a lot of limiting beliefs. I think, unfortunately, a lot of them are waiting for someone to save them, to rescue them, to do the thing to get them to the next level. And I think people need to know that they are the person they're waiting for, because it is good to have people in your environment that support you and stuff, but you're the one that ultimately has to take those large steps and have the courage. So I think that's why a lot of people don't do it, because they're waiting for somebody else to do it for them. And people just need to know they're their own superhero. They have to be their own superhero.
Yeah, and I agree. And so what are some, like, with that said, because I agree, like being self-led and because when people hire coaches, it's like they want the coach to save them. Or if somebody it doesn't even have to be a coach. Like, I mean, I know I've been guilty of this in like past selves of my, where I'm just like looking for that person to like help me, to save me. And that could come from whatever, right? Like some people go through like crazy childhood traumas. There's a lot of things, right, that cause that. What are some suggestions that you would have from your own experience that help to become more self-led and to be your own hero?
Ooh, that's a tough one, because like you said, not a lot of people are really self-aware. A lot of people don't really trust their intuition. I taught myself at a very young age to pay attention to my intuition. I trust my intuition, but I still work on it. Because man, I kicked myself in the ass when I knew I was right and I should have done this or I shouldn't have done that. So it's just like everything else, business, relationships, weight loss. It's day in, day work, and you're going to have to constantly be paying attention. So the best advice is I wouldn't say meditate, but sit with yourself quietly and really listen to what's actually going on in your mind, and know that the box you're in isn't the box that you have to stay in.
Yeah.
Like I always used to do it now, but I used to do it before I was this courageous, and just picture life outside of the current box.
Yeah.
So I guess, it's just really a natural way to visualize. It's like, this is a kind of a funny story, but not. Some people might be triggered by it. Some people might not be.
The best kind.
Oh my God, right? You said it would be fun. So I started personal training when I was 24. I'm 45 now. So I've been in this industry for a very long time. This isn't like my side gig. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people. So I remember personal training somebody when I was 24. She was a teacher. I won't name names, but she was telling me how her husband was treating her. And she said she had someone at work that she liked, and she was having a hard time deciding what to do, blah, blah, blah. And I said, just who do you want to be spending next Christmas with? And that's all I said to her. And I can't remember how long it was after, but she divorced the husband and she's spending Christmas with the new guy. So that's an example of like, you just have to visualize yourself outside of the box you're in and know that there is life outside of the box.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
It does. It's like shifting identities,
Yeah.
It's like all the time. And I know we're all probably guilty of this. Like, obviously, the more aware you become and the more you practice this, the less this probably happens. But like the I am statements where somebody's like, I can't do that. I don't know. Like, I am. And it's just like, whoa. It's like, that's disempowering. Like, that's definitely like taking you in the opposite direction. And for me, first of all, I love that you talk about sitting in like the silence, just being present. I think that's something that every human should do, is get into the practice of just being, being, right? Yeah. For me, like I've always stacked wins, even if they're not in the same category, right? So when I made it on American Ninja Warrior, like I was just like, and I wanted to grow my business. I was just like, well, is that when I made it on American Ninja Warrior, I was 45K in debt. So like, it was like,
wow.
I was not successful in one area, but I was successful over here. So I was like, well, if I could do that, right, and like finding evidence, and then for me, it's just like taking control of the skills. And so I'm like, all right, so if I want to be this person, if I want to be a successful CEO, what skill stack does that person need? I'm like, okay, that person's a great copywriter. They know how to write words that grab attention. That person's a great communicator. They know how to speak well and like articulate their message. They're great at sales. They're great at leadership and delegation. So I was like, all right, let me go to work at just freaking one by one, just becoming pretty decent at each of these skills. And for me, that was like something that was massively helpful when it came to like being self-led. It's like nobody could take your skills. Like you can lose all of your money today. You can lose your whole business today. You can lose everything. Right. And this is even like somebody that's trying to lose weight. It's like if like you gained a bunch of weight, but you understand the basic, which wouldn't happen if you
when it happens,
like nutrition and fitness and stuff. But no matter what, you can always get back to what you want to be.
I think you've been listening to Alex Hormozy, because he says the same exact thing in terms of like, stacking out a lot of evidence in your favor, where, the more evidence you stack in your favor, like sticking to your macros or sticking to your workout. Alex Hormozy.
I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, I'm like, is he kidding?
Yeah, it's I listen to him. It's so funny because I listen to him quite a bit in terms of like business, and and sometimes it's the same across the board when it comes to like weight loss, business, relationship. It's like you just have to do the work and stack as much evidence, like even the smallest thing, the smallest millimeter of progress is still evidence. And the more evidence you stack in your favor, the more confident in yourself you become. And that's all we're trying to do for a lot of people out there. It's just like, just check the boxes today, just worry about today. Like you said, be in the moment. The only thing we can control is the moment. So what you can do at the moment, check the boxes. And then at the end of the day, before you put your head on your pillow, you're like, you know what? I check all my boxes, or I check the majority of those boxes. It's a good day. And if it wasn't a good day, you could always improve for the next day, right? So it's like, I don't know. It's I like how you said it there, like stacking evidence. I think that's a really great way to encourage confidence in people, and that's what we've been doing for the last like over 13 years of doing this thing. So
yeah, we're either fueling the negative or we're fueling the positive.
Yeah.
So, so more positive will happen.
You guys ever read the book, The Science of Getting Rich?
No.
I have not. I can't say that I have.
I have to admit, I don't read very much.
I don't know where I thought I had it.
I just adult a lot.
It's
that's what I do.
Well, in the book, like what you just said, Wayne, it reminded me of that, where it's like one of the things he says, it's a very mindset related book. It's about like the whole vision. It's very mindset related. But one of the things he says in there is do all you can do each day towards your vision. Right. So he's not saying hustle and grind. He's not saying that. He's just saying, when you're done with the day, did you give it your best effort? Did you put in like your best effort, whatever that means, to that goal? And I think if you could say yes, I gave it, it's like playing sports, right? It's like, or being in the gym. Did some gym sessions probably are terrible. I go, sometimes I'm just like, I definitely didn't give it my all.
Yeah.
Right. But like, you're like, if I left that sweat, if that sweat's down there in the ground, I gave it, I was focused, I gave it my all. That's all you can do. You know?
Yeah. I mean, 365 days in 1 year, that's a lot of wins.
It is.
Right.
Right.
It's better than having the all or nothing mindset, right? It's like, oh, instead of doing nothing for 365 days, a little bit every day, that's a lot. It adds up to a lot.
Yeah. And especially you guys are talking about, like, you've had these moments to where, you could have been crushed. Like your business could have been over. You could have been like, you know what? I love coffee. Starbucks, you iron. Like, let me just do this.
Get a coffee. Just grab a coffee. You'll be fine.
I joke with Nicole because I see her on Instagram and I see these like these posts sometimes, a lot of times over the last few years, and it's like coffee. And so whenever I see her, I'm just like, I think of coffee, which is really good branding, you know.
Yeah.
If you sold coffee,
maybe one day I'll sell coffee.
Yeah.
With some
side note, my wife has a friend that they have they do a lot of things, like they're like investors, and they have like a coffee brand that does pretty well.
That's cool.
It'll never go out of business. People love coffee.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, we're watching what show are we watching right now? Oh, Joe Pickett. And there was a funny scene on there. They're talking about coffee a lot. The sheriff was talking about the coffee. He's tried all these
right.
Coffee. It's something that most people can relate on. And I started doing it a couple of years ago. And I had fun with it. And so I have people randomly sending me coffee memes. And it's just kind of a fun way to start the day, you know? Because who doesn't love a cup of coffee?
And it's a good connection, right? With your audience.
I was going to say, yep.
It's something I see with you, Wayne, that I also do a lot in different ways, but like these short kind of like aspirational, motivational posts, like where, you know, or like these like very short, I call them short punchy, you know, to where they're kind of polarizing, but they're coming from a place of truth.
Yeah.
You know, I see you do that stuff a lot and people love it. Like it either triggers somebody or it inspires them, you know?
Yeah, it's and like I said, I listen to like tons of podcasts, and I'll definitely be adding yours to my list, definitely. And I always pick up something that, even though it's business related, I always try to tie it into a lot of people, like our audience, who are women who want to lose weight, because at the end of the day, it's all mindset related. Like the mind is the leader, and the body's just the body will follow. So, you know, I listen to Alex, I'm going to be listening to you. And anytime I hear something like a sentence or a phrase that really gets me, I was like, oh shit, that's a good one. I always try to see how I could take that, repackage it in a different way where it really connects with a woman in her 40s who wants to feel confident in her skin again. And usually it helps them to break them out, and they actually reach out. So they would say something like, you know what, like, Wayne, that post, that piece of content just hit me just right at the right time. And I'd be like, okay, great. Let's have a discussion about it. And then we end up hopping on a call, and then, you know, I help them out, and that's how it goes.
And that's smart. And then like, there's like 3 phases of what I call like, people on social media. There's friends. You can be in the friend zone of content. You can be in the expert zone of content, or you can be in the thought leader zone. And what you just said is like, you're literally leading somebody's thought. You're helping to shift the way they think. And that is so powerful to have that skill in your content to change how they see something. Right.
I think I actually learned that from you. Because you kept saying, like, you know, with a lot, and I've noticed it with a lot of coaches out there, like everyone's talking about like protein and workouts and I get it. Like those are really important. But I think I remember I was listening in on something, or I read one of your content pieces, and you said something about if you could change or shift someone's mindset from where they are to where they want to be with a piece of content or pieces of content, they will be a client of yours, or they'll be a follower of yours for as long as possible, as long as you keep feeding that, you know, that void. And it definitely works.
So what's next for you guys? Like, what's you know, what's the bigger vision?
Stay-at-home mom.
What?
I'm just
stay-at-home mom.
You know, like, I don't know. Maybe we should do a podcast.
I know people are a lot of our clients are saying like, oh, you guys should do a podcast, blah 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 blah. And honestly, like, it's how it has always been there. I think the reason why we haven't is because I think I overcomplicate it. Because I definitely want to spread. I think everyone on the planet has something. We all have a story to share with people, just like you, Jason. And obviously, like the fact that you have been doing this podcast thing for the last 3 years, you know, you're definitely part of that 1%. Because I heard someone say today, they said like, most people who want to start a podcast, they can make it past like, the first one episode of creating one. And then if you make 20 podcast episodes, you're part of the 1%. And I was like, just 20 it takes to be part of the 1%. And I was just
people
like,
are short-sighted.
Yeah.
Oh, with everything.
Right. So I was just like, you know what? Like, I just need to like, I think that would be definitely one thing I would definitely want us to do in the, hopefully next year. Definitely next year, early next year.
Yeah, I think we're in a different spot than a lot of like new online people, like, because we've been in the business for a while, we're in our 40s. So I think it's just like, it's a detailing right now, like, like maybe a book, maybe a podcast. We're into investing, like just different things, just enjoying life, right? Like as a mom and, family and stuff. So it's just kind of like changing a little bit for me. Personally speaking.
Yeah.
Like I'll still do the business, of course, but I'm more like, I'm trying to do that life work balance thing. Right.
A business around your life.
Yeah. Where it used to be the opposite. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Like we live in a time right now, like after doing tons of work before, like now we're able to like walk our daughter to school and back and, spend some time with her that we never did before. And it's really, really cool. And, but I also still want to, just like you, Jason, like you want to impact a lot of people. You want to impact as many coaches and entrepreneurs out there. And I want to do the same thing with women, husbands, like people who want to be above average. That's my thing. I want to work with people who actually say, fuck average. I want to go from here to there, not just physically, but also mentally, psychology, like the whole 9 yards, right? Like they could have it. It's just a matter of like, make sure if you have this version of yourself and your actions don't align with that, that's where, again, a coach like you, ourselves, could help you align those actions with that vision of yourself. And then, life is good.
Yeah. And, as I listen to you guys talk, Jason, I think, like I'm in a spot right now where I would like to help people above and beyond their weight as well. Because I do think I have a lot to offer in different areas, mindset wise and stuff like that. So I haven't quite figured out what's going to really spark me when it comes outside of this business. But yeah, I've been sitting with myself with that one.
Yeah.
But you're lucky. Yeah, you're lucky and courageous enough to have found something else that's kind of in line with that, but also branching out. So I'm just kind of like paying attention to my intuition, and but I'm open to different things. I just haven't figured that one out yet.
Yeah.
We can't figure
I believe from like a spiritual side that like all humans are like, we're meant to just grow and evolve, and there's no finish line, right? It's just like we're meant to grow and evolve. And there's a book that I read called Conversations with God. Have you ever read that?
Oh no, but
I read the Bible sometimes.
I might read that one.
Conversations with God's a really good book, and when you can listen to it on audio, it's actually probably better to listen to because of the dialogue that he has. When you listen to that or read it, like there's just a lot of stuff that you'll nod your head and you'll just be like, I don't know how I know this, but it feels true. Like, and you'll just be like, I feel that it's true. And like, I believe like everybody on this planet, some people just choose to ignore it and they choose to, but there's always, then that's where I think people get depressed and a lot of these chemical imbalances start to come in. At least this was true for me back when I was depressed and had all these issues. But I believe like our mission and our purpose here is to just grow and evolve and find our way back home, which is like we are one. But that's cool.
That's next. I'm trying to figure out what is next. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Then it'll happen as long as you're open to it, and
I am.
It'll happen. I eventually, like, my goal is to have like this whole school of impact, so where we have this educational business and we have like a nonprofit that we're going to get ready to start fueling next year.
Nice.
And the whole mission is just to help end prolonged human suffering. Like, I think all of us as humans, we need to freaking suffer. All of us we need that time under tension. We need to suffer. But the ones that are like, can't stay suffering like too long.
Yeah.
That's what needs to end, I think.
Yeah.
So couple more questions. Where can people find more about you, what you do, and just connect with you?
We're on Facebook. So there's Nicole
The Book
Dumont.
of Faces. Fair.
The Book of Faces.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're a little older, right? So we're on Facebook still.
Yeah.
So
We're on Facebook.
We're on Facebook. Both of us, Wayne Sutherland, Nicole Dumont, and Elite Fitness Team. We have a private group there.
We'll link those stuff up too.
Instagram, of course.
Yep, Instagram for both of us, and Elite Fitness Team. I'd
love to see your dance moves on TikTok. Are you?
We have TikTok, but we have TikTok, but I'd say
more Facebook.
Yeah, more Facebook and Instagram for sure.
Just send us a message. Give us a follow. Say hello.
Let us know that you watched this episode.
Send me a coffee meme. Send me a coffee meme.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. This will probably be a 2-part question for both of y'all here. If you had one message that you wanted to make sure was left in this world, what would it be?
This is why I wish I was prepared.
I'm gonna go first on this one. Men first on this one. Men first on this question. I think like I'm gonna kind of piggyback off what you said, Jason. Is like, you think that the purpose of life is to grow and become one with everyone, and also the version of yourself that can help serve others. And I'm all about service. I don't know why. I'm just all about service. And as long as we build ourselves, we build our bodies, we build our nutrition, we build our mindset in order to serve people, family, friends, co-workers, our neighborhood, our community, our country, eventually the world. That's all I really like. That's the thing. I think at the end of the day, it's like, I really want to serve. I want us all to serve everyone who needs service. And there's nothing wrong with working on yourself to make that happen. And the work on ourselves is forever. As long as we draw breath, there's nothing wrong with work. There's nothing wrong with working towards a goal. There's nothing wrong with working towards, service. And at the end of the day, I also believe that the purpose of living is to serve others. Because if you give someone, I don't know who said it. I don't know if it was like, I can't remember his name. But I think he said, if you give someone what they want,
Zig Ziglar.
Zig Ziglar, Ziggy. If you give someone what they want, you will get what you want. Right? And that's my thing. I'm just like, as long, like Nicole and I are in a relationship, we're parents of a beautiful little girl. As long as I serve Nicole in a way where she feels loved, supported, encouraged, daily, she will be a much better mom to our daughter, a much better person to me, a much better, partner, a business owner, the whole 9 yards. She'll be a much better coach to her girls. And I'll get the same thing back. So I could be of service to my kids, to Nicole, to my community and all that stuff, right? So that's just me though. That's just me.
He is that sweet. If you're listening to this, he is that sweet. And he gets sweeter the longer we're together. It's super weird.
Like a fine wine.
It is, yeah. He's like a fine wine.
You guys are making me blush. Chocolate. You guys are making me blush, even though I'm black.
We can't see. So I thought of what I'd like to say. I would say, I don't know why I have women in my brain for this, but listen to your own intuition, not somebody else's opinion. And I think because, you know, I know we can't rescue everyone, but my heart goes out to women who are abused, children who are abused, and just people that are stuck in a situation because they're not listening to themselves. They're listening to other people's opinion. And just like Hulk on your back shelf there, you got to fucking Hulk it out and just get out of that situation. You got to turn into the more empowered version of yourself and get the hell out, and don't listen to other people's opinion. Listen to your own self. That would be the one thing I would like more women. That. I think men too, obviously, but obviously I'm a woman. I have a daughter, and you know, I think women are more taken advantage of than men. So my heart goes out to those women, and that's what I would say.
I love it. Powerful. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. I really appreciate you sharing your story, sharing your message, sharing strategies that you've used to overcome your own challenges. I feel like it's super helpful for everybody listening right now. So thank you guys.
You're welcome.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for
having us.
This was fun.
And remember, everybody back at home, you have a message and it matters. This is how we end every episode. And your message has this passion to in this enthusiasm, which is a beacon of light. And when you speak that message out, whether you're a business owner trying to help people, whether you're just trying to, you know, help somebody in your family or your community or the people around you, remember that your message matters, and it matters now more than ever has before. So don't be afraid to speak it. As always, be seen, be heard, and be impactful.